is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Kart 6T3. Before I get started on the topic today, the video today, I wanted to make an announcement. These guys right here, Beard Octane. You see their stickers up here in every video. I wore the hat pretty much all winter long. I keep my dome nice and toasty in the chilly weather. They are on board for 2022 as a personal sponsor of my cart, the Kart 63. Not 6T3, but 63. Beard Octane is a phenomenal company. If you have a beard, if you're into men's grooming, they do have some hair products. They do have some shaving products, stuff like that. So as always, I'm going to start linking down below any of my sponsors. This is a format I get to showcase them, and why not utilize that? So thank you very much, Joe, Eric with an A, and everybody at Beard Octane for believing in me and standing behind my cart for this season. Thank you. Okay, now that all of that is out of the way, let's discuss the topic at hand today. This was suggested, I believe, a while ago. I had written it down in my notes. Somebody again requested this video. I said, you know what? Why don't we bump this subject up to get this done and get this out there for you people? And it is Jackshafts, and actually the calculation to use a jackshaft. Now, first and foremost, why would you want to use a jackshaft? There are two reasons, really. It is to reduce your clutch speed, to keep heat out of it, and it is to achieve more ratios. So if you're, say, on a, say you got a clone, you got a KT100 two-stroke, whatever it is, and you have a crank clutch, you're going to be very limited into what gears, you can have, say 35 chain. So you're talking about 53 up to 70, give or take. And once you get past, 70 on rear gear, you're getting into territory where you're going to be grinding that gear into the ground, and you don't want that. So when you go to a jackshaft, you can, go to different size drivers in your clutch and actually get that rear gear if it's smaller. And like I said, it dissipates a lot of heat out of the clutch because you can turn the clutch slower and engage it, at a different RPM. So what I've written down here, I know it sounds a little goofy, but let me explain. All right. Calculating jackshafts is not that hard. This is, I didn't know how to write it, so this is the driven, and this is the driver. So on it, I'm going to do a close-up and explain this a little better. So this is the driven. Your driver is actually on your axle. So you're going to divide the driven by the driver, and then you're going to multiply that by, this is the clutch, and this is the axle. So you're dividing, the axle by the clutch, the driven by the driver, and then you're multiplying those two things together. So I'm going to go into a visual aid to explain it. I know, it may have been confusing there real quick, but I think once it dives down, it'll make a little more sense to you. So give me a second, get set up here for you, and we'll do just that. See you in a second. Okay, everyone, here we are, dove down. Now, I do have my pan over here, and we have my calculation here, and now I will explain. All right, so like I said, whether this is a two-stroke or a four-stroke, the only difference might be, you see how this is belt-driven. Sometimes I've seen on four-strokes this being chain. So this actually would be, 35 chain over here, and instead of the belt, it would be a chain, and there would just be standard teeth here. So what you're going to do is whatever this is what I'm talking about. All right, this is the driven, this is the driver. So you're going to divide this gear ratio. This is a 57. This happens to be a 20. It's usually a 21 on a Buller type setup, but they happen to have 20s when we're outfitting this KT100. So I would divide 57 by 20 and get that ratio. Now you come over onto the axle. So whatever your rear gear is here, you're going to take this count and you're going to divide it by your clutch. You come up with that number. Now you multiply those two, and that gives you your overall ratio. So what would normally be, say you have a clone, all right, we're omitting this engine package right here. You would have your clone, your clutch and gear, and then you have your ratio, whatever it is. Hey, I'm on a 1754 or whatever it would be. You have that ratio, and say it turns out to be 3. Well, you can achieve that the same way, but you're taking a lot of stress and speed out of the clutch. So this is only turning 2.7 rotations for every time the engine turns. And then that is reducing the RPM the clutch actually has to engage at. So it's keeping heat out of the clutch. And then again, you're able to, with this, you're able to, change ratio. Say you're going on a bull ring or something like that. When you go real small here, you can go taller here and really, let's say you got an indoor race or something like that, like a 1/10 of a mile, and you really need to get the ratio up. That is very easily done on a Jackshaft system. So this is just what it looks like. I don't know, if in general, maybe people don't know what a Jackshaft looks like. Nothing's hooked up here. It is still the off season. My Lord Butterfly is actually just hanging there. I just thought I'd show you real quick. That is a Buller drive. I have the extra wide spacing because this is a Recon. I believe my clutch is from Licatus. Yeah. So basically that's that. Nothing crazy. It's pretty easy to figure out gear ratios on a Jackshaft system. Okay, right before we go back up top here, I just wanted to show off some of the components of the Jackshaft for those of you who might not be familiar. So, this one here, this one is actually called a BMI Jackshaft. I believe the company's out of Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty basic, but it takes the legs here. But we'll get the job done. I haven't used this in quite a few years. All right, this is the breakdown of the Buller drive. So this one, actually, my 250's done a number on the slot here, so it was not holding true. So that got replaced, but this is what Buller, it's dirty, obviously, because I didn't clean it when I replaced it. But I had this kicking around. I thought I'd show you, and then this would be the tube. You would have bearings that go in there. That goes on there. That's your Jackshaft tube, obviously, with bearings. Here would be your 3/4 shaft that goes through there to drive your driven over here, your clutch over here. Okay, your legs. These are what goes on the bottom of the Buller Jackshaft here. You would thread down through some shorter hex bolts. Those go on the back side of that. So if I were to take this off here and flip this, this is the tall side, so this would go here. Then this would go here, and that would mount to the bottom, or that would, go on your cart. And these are butterflies, so the butterflies, obviously, I'm trying to do this looking through my camera, would bolt through there, and just real simple. And this is the longer version. I get this question all the time about the longer legs for Recons, for Millenniums, and stuff like that. You have to call Buller. So as far as I know, Buller, unless you're going to get something custom made from somebody else, Buller's the only one who makes the extended legs to fit Recon, Rage, Millennium, the wider rail spacing that goes with those models. So just thought I'd drop down here and show you guys what some of the components are to a Jackshaft. Okay, well, there you go. That is an up-close look at what a Jackshaft system looks like. It's really not that complex. I know sometimes things like that might seem to be complex, and chances are I did an even better job at confusing you with this whole driven, driver, axle, clutch. That's how my brain recognizes it. It's really divide one by the other, divide the other by the other, and then times them together, and that gives you an overall ratio, whatever it is you're trying to come up with. So fairly simple math. If there's anything I can answer any questions for you, shoot them down below. Maybe I did a bad job with this description. I don't know. But if you have any questions at any time, go ahead, ask in the comments, shoot me an email, whatever it is. I'll do my best to try and explain it. And yeah, we'll go from there. So thank you everybody for stopping by. If you didn't mind, hit a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if this type of stuff is useful to you, and I guess we'll see you in the next video. All right, catch you later, guys.